In a quiet part of Florida, nestled between palm trees and slow-moving afternoons, there sat a modest memory care facility. The kind of place where time didn't move fast, where each day was a gentle repetition of the one before. In 2021, this was home to many who had begun forgetting life's details one by one. Among the residents were two elderly men, John and Leo. John was 81, still sharp, still sarcastic, still holding on to his books like they were pieces of himself. Leo was older, 84, and quieter. His mind had become a puzzle with too many missing pieces. Alzheimer's had blurred the outlines of who he used to be. Their friendship started in silence. One morning, Leo wandered into the small library room and just stood by the window. John looked up from his book. "You hiding from bingo?" he joked. Leo smiled faintly. "I think I'm waiting for someone." There was no one coming, but John didn't say that. He simply turned a page and began to read, aloud. From that day forward, John read to Leo, sometimes just a few pages, other times entire chapters. Leo didn't always respond. Some days he dozed off. Other days he asked odd, unrelated questions. But every morning, like clockwork, he returned. And every morning John was waiting, with a book in hand. Their connection didn't need full conversations. It grew through presence, through repetition, through shared silences. John helped Leo remember the basics, where to sit, which hallway led to his room. And Leo, in return, gave John something harder to name, a reason to keep showing up. There were days when the disease won. Leo would enter the room and stare at John blankly. "I think I'm supposed to be somewhere else," he'd say, confused. John never took offense. "That's all right," he'd answer gently. "I was just about to start a story. You can stay if you want." Leo would sit, slowly, and listen. Once, mid-sentence, Leo interrupted him. "Wait, didn't you read that part yesterday?" John froze. "Yes, I did." For a moment, just a sliver of a moment, Leo had remembered. It didn't last, but John didn't expect it to. He just smiled and kept reading. The nurses started calling them the Notebook Friends, not because of the movie, but because John carried a worn leather notebook where he logged every story he read, every page he wanted to revisit with Leo. The staff never interrupted their mornings. It was sacred. As months passed, Leo's condition deteriorated. He stopped responding as often. His gaze would drift past people, like he was searching for someone from long ago. But John kept reading. He read even when Leo's eyes were closed, even when he wasn't sure if Leo could hear him at all. One morning, John arrived to find Leo in his chair, quiet, barely awake. Still, he opened his book. He read slowly, voice trembling with age and something deeper. He finished the chapter, leaned over and whispered, "I'll be back tomorrow. Same time." Leo didn't reply, but a tear slid gently down his cheek. Leo passed away that night. John came the next day holding his notebook and found the chair empty. He didn't read that day. He just sat. A week later, John left his notebook in the library. Inside, on the first page, he had written, "For anyone who forgets or anyone who remembers for them." He never read aloud again, but sometimes a new resident would find the book and begin to read. Because sometimes true friendship isn't built on shared memories, but on showing up, day after day, even when the other forgets. Especially then.